Don't say sorry because I'm never sorry. I'm not a sorry individual, but I do apologize that you can't get it down there. But you can log on WKDU.org. You listen to the show every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. We are here for you, boo. Are you enjoying the show? I am. Yeah, I'm enjoying the show today. You know, you really got to love yourself to be able to sit here and talk to yourself. I'm talking to you guys, but really in here it's like I'm talking to myself, you know, through this big black mic that I hold with two hands. Don't be scared of talking to the mic, bomb. Early and often. So once again, I'm still doing Facebook and Twitter shouts out. You know, they're Purple Hugs and Kisses. I will be back on there in a minute to check all the new likes and everything. I'll make sure that you will get your shout out shine in a moment. I'm on with Purple early and often. So I want to talk about this. Now, you know I like to do Philly news. And although this story is a little old, it's another old story that I'm going to talk to you too about. But this story is a little old, but I just don't feel like it got its just due. I don't feel like people really talked about this story as much as they needed to. Now, it is the eve of New Year's Eve and New Year's holiday. And we know every New Year's in Philadelphia, there's a big parade by a bunch of people called the Mummers. Most of them are, you know, Caucasian people from South Philly. You know, and they have this big thing, you know, with the Mummers. It's really, really big in Philly. But, you know, a couple months ago, the Mummers, there was a specific Mummers, there was a raid, okay? There was a raid, the Philly raided downtown, the Downtowners Club. If you know the Mummers, they're called the Downtowners. They raided their club. Now, you might have heard this on the news, but I'm going to go into the story. Why? Because you need to know about what's going on with our South Phillians, Caucasians. The story goes. Police raided the Downtowners Club. This happened a couple months ago on a Tuesday night. That Wednesday morning, there were reports of wild sex parties at this facility. The Mummers don't even get dressed up to wild out on the street. They get take it off, baby, and wild out in the downtown sex club. All right. At this facility, it's used by many clubs who march for the New Year's Day in Philadelphia. Police say 20 to 30 women were servicing up to 70 men during this wild night of eating and drinking and sexing, baby. A mama's party. Maybe I need to get the address of the next one. What kind of service? I don't want to be serviced by the women. Anyway, they arrested a total of 10 women who were charged with prostitution, and they were arrested during the raid at the clubhouse located at 2nd and Snyder. What colors did y'all have on? Green and white? Oh no, hey girl. Well, police say that it's a regular thing now down there. It's called Second Tuesday each month down at the Downtowners Club, which of course is, you know, hope by now it's stopped. Because this happened in October, so October, November, December. It was only 3 months ago, so. Anyway, authorities say that 2 bartenders were also arrested, John Murray and Albert Sanborn. Okay, they're on the executive board at this Downtowners Club. They were selling liquor out of this club. I'm talking about, the guy said, it's like a bar, the deputy police commissioner said. There are over 15 to 20 kegs. That's how you know it's a white party. You know it's a white party when there are kegs involved. Multiple kegs involved, it's a big white people party. Seriously. An enormous amount of liquor at this location. There was over $4,000 in cash. Y'all came up on that Tuesday. I mean, $4,000, that's not that good, but for a party, regular joint, you know, that's not that bad. Cops said that they were investigating the sex party for 2 months. So that's how you never know. They sit on you. They sit on you. You know what I'm saying? You think you're getting away with this little crime, and then they sit on your bow. They arrested your ass. You getting hauled out in handcuffs for selling your ass. Wow. Just say no. The cover to get into the sex club was $30. Okay? And the investigators say they seen half-naked women and naked women roaming around the club, and they were offering people sex acts for between $30 and $100. Is that the going rate for hoes on the street? Hoskies on the street? I think it's a little cheaper. $30. That's not bad for what? Blowjob? I don't know. A BW on the site? Oh my goodness. So, in light that this is going on, you know, it is the Mummers Day, you know, New Year's Eve bash is going on. Just, Monday?
Yeah.
Is Monday the 1st? Yeah. Monday is actually
Gotcha.
New Year's Day where they're out there parading with the mamas. So while you are parading, let's remember that there is a brothel down there allegedly on 2nd Street hosted by your favorite mummers. So hey, hats off to you for making history in Philadelphia. So I don't know. There are some updates on that story, but I won't go into the details right now with you. But I got that information from Fox 29, so just Google it so you can get the whole story. Because had that been a black club, honey, it would have been more than, we would still be hearing about it right now as if it was October, in December. So you know what I'm saying. So I'll get you on black. I love the mummers and I love Caucasian people. Don't get me wrong. However, I just want to put the story out on Front Street. Exactly. More Caucasian messiness. You've heard it first here on 91.7 FM, A Moment with Purple. Robert Edward DeShields. Alright, he was renting a space in Sacramento House, and when the homeowner came home, he's just renting a room there, and the homeowner came home and she was found, her poor Chihuahua. Shadow is a Chihuahua. Poor Shadow. It was in pain and shock. The veterinarian examined the Chihuahua and discovered the dog had suffered severe damage to his internal organs. Are you kidding me? Shadow, everybody, I know, he survived. Yay, Shadow! Oh, you poor little ugly ass Chihuahua. And you ugly, he wasn't even attractive. Do you gotta get turned on to something that you doing it to? I don't, alright, I'm not gonna try to understand. But the Chihuahua, Shadow, had to get surgery. The dog is currently being cared for in a foster home. Okay, there's a lot going on there. He's being cared for in a foster home. It's so not funny. But, they say that Shadow is a victim in every sense of the word. The new owner told the judge the dog is extraordinarily fearful of men, like many victims of sexual assault. Wow. He said that the dog will never fully recover from his wounds. Throw your hand, everybody, yes. Throw your hands up in the air and what WTF and everything else. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared. Is this what 2012 is bringing us? Is this what it's the new world order or are we gonna die in 2012? Anybody think about that? When is the Mayans ever gonna die? In May? Do we have until May before we die? According to the Mayans, we're gonna be dying soon. Hopefully it's not in December because I got a couple more things I need to do with this last day or two in December. So no, seriously, hopefully you all prayed up. Only God will know when it's the end of days for us. But according to the Mayans, we're going to be dying soon. And with people, banging 8-month-old Chihuahuas, it might be coming soon. That's really what I want to say about that. Ay, Dios mío, Chihuahua. I don't know. Would you call that puppy love? I know. It's horrible. It's horrible. For all you dog lovers, please do not write into WKDU with your being angry. I'm just reporting the story. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone doing it to dogs or nothing. But people, it's really a whole... I'm just saying, I'm not promoting this, but you can Google bestiality. They have websites dedicated to people boinking animals. Like they're boinking horses, dogs. Like... When I was in high school, I went to Chester High. So all you Chester people can, Chester High and Pencrest, I went to a couple. All you Chester people, you know this story. There was a girl from the projects in Chester. She was what were the William Penn Projects? And she was very well known because she was on tape having sex with a pit bull.
Hello?
They partied her with the dog. And she had this reputation for a very long time. Anybody who remembers that, feel free to call in 215-895-5917. We were in high school, and she was deemed the dog banger. And they had video. Yep. So it's hard. How are you when you grow up, and you find out the rumors about your parents? How about getting that? Yeah, your mommy, she used to do it to dogs. Ouch. How do you live that one down? How do you parent after you were the dog banger in high school? Can you be a good mom? I'm sure she is. I'm sure that she's moved past that and she regrets all the things that she's done in the past. But, protect your youngins. No more Amber Coleses and all that. Protect your young girls. Let them know that you love them. Give them hugs and kisses. If you're a dad, hug and love your daughter. Make sure she knows that you feel like she's beautiful. Tell her that so she's not here searching for love from, idiots and strange people. Alright, early in office. I think that's what I'm going to call it. Caucasian messiness. So you know how, you know, I think that, you know, a lot of Caucasians are very, very smart with money. You know, they are. If you ever, I went to a predominantly white school. And for their birthdays, they got brand new red BMWs. You know, their parents' old Jaguar as gifts. But they always had like the bummiest sneakers on with holes in it. Like, you know, some shirts they wore 3 times that week. Like, they're very conservative with their money. And this couple was so conservative with their money that they are traveling. They were in the, you know, they had their holiday plans. You know, after holidays, people buy all their plane tickets and everything, okay? Well, this family has 6 people in their family. 2 adults and 4 kids. And they were trying to be, you know, frugal with their money. So, I'm going to read you the story. You know, it's really expensive out there. So, one of the families, they bought a round trip ticket. Right? They were flying out of Chicago. From North Carolina to Chicago. Here's the story. 2 parents bought just 3 airline tickets for a family of 6 people. Since 3 of their kids qualified as lap infants, they figured those kids could all just fly for free. Why not? It's a lap kid. See, you see how smart they are? Smart. So, picturing. The 4th child is a teenager, right? No, their oldest child is 3 years old. So, you're trying to get it? So, we got a family of just 2, a man and woman, and then the kids, right? The 3 of them are kids in the lap, and 1 is a 3-year-old. Okay. The 2 parents plus the 3-year-old and a 20-month twins and an 8-month-old baby were all sharing 3 seats on a plane. It said, we were going to have one of the twins, this is what the parent said to the flight attendant. We were going to have one of the twins sit in with my 3-year-old in the 3-year-old's lap, and my husband and I would hold each of them, other 2 kids, in our lap. Alright, says the mother. Which totally makes sense if you think about it. It's a good idea for a 3-year-old and a toddler to share a seat on a cross-country flight. Wow. If you're serving anyone else on the plane for free, you know, you're serving free stuff all the time. Bloody Marys are for free, the drinks are for free, everything's for free. So, why not have, you know, the kids ride for free? I don't know. So it says, let's ignore the argument. Can somebody get this phone for me? I said, so let's ignore the argument, not you, Black. Let's ignore the argument over whether it was legal or not. I mean, this is the thing. Look, they're trying to save money. Let me help you understand. They're trying to save money. So what they did was they had their kids riding on a plane free. Now, the point of it is, have you ever been on a plane? Everybody's argument about the plane ride is what? The damn seats are too small. So, you have all these little ass kids bunched up in seats. Is this child abuse? Is this child abuse? To make these kids ride up and a bunched up with a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old in somebody's laps? It's just all messy. If you don't got money to fly all of your family across from North